Hello. Okay, so trigger warning, sensitive content warning, and actually a warning for your heart. So the title, I have said who this is for, and the reason is because if there's chronic illness, baffling symptoms, that might change, it might be different things, you heal one thing, something else happens, usually that, so the illness, it could be allergies. For me it was a list of things, I'm not going to go into the details, but asthma, insomnia, weight gain, all of these things, coupled with anxiety and depression, and what I'm realizing is that delicious cocktail has something underneath it often, and this video is to help you not to be ill and have the anxiety and the depression for as long as I did. So even though, okay, so two things. First of all, I was going to say, even though I was quite a sick child and, I still had some ailments in adulthood, especially that came on around menopause. But I always viewed myself as super healthy. And I've joked about this before, where I've gone, I was sometimes not advantageously positive. Burying my head in the ground. Positivity is a great thing, but you need reality as well. And this has been one of the toughest things that I've had to deal with in my life, actually. And it began when I studied the intuition and how to learn how to tap into my own intuition in an accurate, tangible way and teach that to others and all of that malarkey. The real horrible illness and anxiety and depression was triggered by something. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm not going to give you the details, names of people or anything like that. But this is absolutely my journey. It is to help others now that I'm through it. And I actually did some work around this. The thing that, I hope the cameras stay all right when I move something. The thing that triggered the really bad illnesses, which was give or take about a decade's worth of experience. I'm going to talk about that so that you don't do it. Oh God, I've lost my thread. Let me go back. So the thing that triggered the give or take a decade of illness, anxiety, depression, as I said, is something I'll tell you, something I did, which wasn't wise in hindsight. This is what I was going to say. But I actually gone back and healed it. I've visited that timeline. I dealt with it a different way. And not only is that going to now change my future, but and my present, but it's actually going to serve a lot more people. I got a really beautiful guidance of how that doesn't only change my time, it actually changes the timeline of a lot of other people that might have been harmed if I hadn't have done that. So this is what I did. About 2013, I was driving with someone that I loved and respected. And I had a memory, okay, of something that happened in my childhood. And I brought it up with this person. And they poo-pooed it. Now remember, I loved and adored this person. And I then just let it go. But what I did was I actually buried it. I buried it deep, deep, deep down. And it began to manifest as depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, chronic illness, insomnia, which I used to kind of, boast of being a rocking entrepreneur when I'd be up at 2 a.m. or something. An over-reliance on alcohol, or super weight gain, and I didn't even notice it. I just thought I was in a country with small people. Like so, la 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 la. Anyway, lots more illnesses. Asthma that I nearly died from a couple of times, once after this incident. Yeah, I just buried it. But the horrible thing that happened was that I started hearing that this particular person was slagging me off. Yeah, I live a different life. I travel a lot, and I didn't believe it. So that's the first thing, okay? When people, I've written 3 notes of things that I must remember to share. When people show you who they are, believe them. I didn't believe this person was slagging me off. This is particularly relevant for anyone out there who's a cycle breaker. Okay? Sadly, people will do anything to protect their reality, even if it's up. Even if it's super up. Okay? Now, how I could have dealt with that was, rather than, and I have dealt with it in this way on another timeline using one of my processes, but how I could have dealt with that is I could have sat that person down with someone else that they are close to in their life, and actually brought it up then. What would have then happened is that maybe other people wouldn't have been affected negatively. Okay, maybe this person would have gone to therapy, etc., etc. But also, it would have stopped over a decade of horrible drama in my life, horrible illness, like just horrible, really, really, really horrible stuff, real drama. And I, honest to God, when I think of, that's a bit of a magical light there. When I think of what it has created in my life, and now that I've changed my focus and I'm going to create real magic, I'm blown away by what I am creating now. So, if you have a memory, okay, so just say you're like, God, I do have all these chronic symptoms, and sometimes I do get either anxious or depressed, and or depressed. And just say you have a memory of something traumatic that happened to you in your childhood, right? I'm just going to write a note. Something else that I need to remind you of, which is really important, because I'm not being victim-y about this at all. Do not. There might be times where it's advisable, but in general, don't bring it up with the person that abused you. Okay? or think twice about it. Chat it over with a healer, a therapist, someone who is compassionate, okay? Like, you have to be very careful about who that person is as well. I'm here for that if you need that. But that's not what this video is all about. And the note that I just wrote is this, and excuse me, it's really important. Yes, the trauma may have happened a few different times, the abuse or whatever it was, but the more that we visit it in our mind as a memory, the more it's affecting us. And all of the experts say that, all of the decent experts say this. Maybe some of the trauma-informed flipping, let's get you into talk therapy. Sod that. Like, I became an ecstatic dance DJ when I realized, you know, which is such a, I don't recommend just that, but it's like when I've given up smoking or when I've successfully let something go from my life, I've always brought something more positive in. So that's another tip. That's something that really worked really well for me, and it saved my life more times than I can tell you. So that's really it for me. I was just guided. So important to share that today. So I'm going to end there. I love you so much, and please be gentle with yourself. Bye, gorgeous.